matey.
You know.
Yeah, I know, but did you just check in? It's just that it's police premises and it's
so
all
I can
private
keep you distant,
here.
sorry. Just, I can hear you from here, that's fine.
Yeah?
Yeah. Sorry, what were you saying, sorry?
Does anybody know, if you checked into the reception, just let them know what you're doing?
No, I'm not going in any buildings or anything.
No, I know, but you're walking around, aren't you? You'll be concerned. Yeah. Well, for you as well, see what you're doing.
Oh, you don't need to be concerned for me, I'm alright, I'm fine, yeah. Obviously, it's just no different than walking around a street or a normal car park.
Here, hun.
Pardon?
It's all private round here.
There's nothing like restricting any access, there's no signage or anything saying like authorised access only. I've been keeping an eye out for any signs, I'm not going anywhere that any signage says I'm not allowed to go.
We've also just got to make sure if there's people
walking
around.
Here's a car. See, this is what I'm saying. I can look after myself. If a car comes, I know how to move.
You normally find it hurts you.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah, you don't like to do that too much. But yeah, no, I'm alright. I'm good.
So you're from around this way, are you?
No.
You're not?
No, just travelling around and thought I'd come and have a look. And
oh right. Are you sort of on holiday of some sort, or you just sort of?
Just
checking out Norfolk and Suffolk.
Yeah, pretty much. Just taking some time out and just riding around. I've got motorbikes, so just ride around and stop at places that I find interesting. And so we've got a police headquarters here, so I thought, I'll come have a look.
Right.
What's happened to that car? Obviously, it's been in an accident, but I mean, your mechanic's going to have to be very skilled to fix that one.
Yeah, I think it's going to need a little bit more than a little bit of...
It's going to be, that's going to be a bit more than a lick of paint, that one, isn't it?
Okay.
But yeah.
Rightio. Do you go around many police stations?
I go all over the country doing all sorts.
Do you?
Yeah, all sorts of different places.
Oh right. So what do you do then when you've done it? Because if people that go around to different places and take photographs of because they want fire engines and things like that.
Yeah. So I've literally.
Is that sort of what you do?
That's all I'm doing is walking around, finding different marked vehicles. So obviously you've got the dark blue one over there. You've got a grey silver van there. You've got that big thing. Can anybody tell me what that unit is with a big trailer on the back of it? Like that one.
Euro cargo.
So what?
It's not a Vico Euro cargo.
What's that do?
It's a lorry.
Yeah, but I mean, like, what do you use it for? Because it's not one I've seen before. That's all. It's just very interesting. So
you know. It's like an office on the back.
Is it? So it's just like a portable police station almost.
Yeah, almost. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Exactly what it is.
Yeah, because I've seen one that says portable police station on the back of it before. But obviously that one doesn't say that, so I was just like, is it? Isn't it? I don't know.
Yeah. Have you got a YouTube channel then? Is that what?
Pardon?
Do you put your stuff on YouTube as well?
Sometimes. It depends.
You're a fan of DJ Audits, are you, and all that?
Yeah, DJ Audits is right, yeah. Not bad.
Your drone as well?
Pardon?
Your drone as well?
Yeah, I've got a drone, yeah.
I'll probably use it?
Yeah, probably. I'll probably get a drone up over at some point, yeah, once I've had a walk around and that, and had a look around at your marked vehicles. I'll probably get a drone over. So like I said, it's a huge site, isn't it? It's because you've got this bit area to come up through the car park and that, seeing your marked vehicles and that. And then, so I've got the drone will just give me a really good aerial shot of like the whole thing. So you've got the pick over that way as well. So with the drone from a good vantage point, I'll probably be able to get like the whole site in one shot and then do like a few sweep shots and stuff. Have some fun. Yeah.
Good. So where's your bike parked in the car park somewhere?
No, I'm parked here.
I won't tell you where it's parked.
No, that would be silly, wouldn't it? No.
You don't need to know that.
You've watched a few of these videos, haven't you?
What's your first name, buddy?
Pardon?
What's your first name?
I don't give out any names, I'm afraid, buddy.
Okay.
So,
I'm going to ask you to leave the site, though.
Okay.
Because this is a secure area in terms of vehicles that we have,
right.
capabilities that we have, so you can't be around here. So I'm going to ask you to leave, please, bud.
Okay.
We've got lots of things to be doing.
I thought this was going rather nicely, and now you're just coming out with this.
Chat with you, yeah. I've got work to do. These guys have got work to do.
That's fine. You crack on.
I'm stood here with you.
From what we're
politely asking you to leave.
From the conversation that we've had, right? Well, you haven't. This is the first thing that you've actually said, but from the conversation I've had with these two, do you feel like I'm any sort of threat? I'm here for any nefarious purpose, or I'm any danger?
The moment is where we park our armed response vehicles and our traffic cars. And that doesn't need to be going on the internet and onto YouTube. So I am going to ask you to leave.
So what if I just stand out by the entrance with them all coming in and out instead?
That's not an issue.
But then I'm still getting the same vehicles, aren't I?
You're still in a secure area, and I don't want to leave.
Well, if it's secure, then secure it, then, isn't it? I'm sorry, but if you're going to be an asshole, you're going to get the asshole side of me. I was being very nice to these two.
I'm asking you to leave. That is that secure part of that area.
Well, it's not though.
You're in the police headquarters. I'm asking you to leave our site.
It's not very secure though, is it? If you're saying it's a secure area,
I agree with you.
Secure it.
However, that is then me coming out as a police officer, dealing with you and asking you to leave.
Who are you, sorry?
PC 1823 Perrier.
1823 Perrier. Yes. And you're based here, are you, at headquarters? Okay. And if I politely refuse to leave, what's the next step?
The next step will probably be to force you to leave.
In what way?
We're in the breach of the peace or other powers that I might consider utilising.
How am I breaching the peace? What requirement am I meeting of breach of the
At
peace?
the moment, as I've explained to you, and as I politely asked you to do, you're in a secure area of a police station that you cannot be in.
And how does that specifically relate to breach of the peace? Because there are certain requirements for you to utilise breach of the peace. So what part of that relates to a breach of the peace?
I'm not going to talk.
Exactly. No, exactly. Because you don't have the requirement to use that power.
All I is to leave.
Exactly.
Okay?
So
Because you're disrupting our
so you're saying if I
doing.
politely refuse, so then I'm civilly trespassing.
Yeah.
You're going to make up a power to use. That's what you said. You said you're going to use breach of the peace or whatever else you can. So you're just going to try and find.
Powers I consider to use is what I said.
Yeah. And what other powers can you use for a civil trespass?
I'm not here for a test, mate. I'm just asking you.
No, exactly, because you don't have any powers under civil trespass, do you? You don't have any powers under civil trespass.
Just stop trying to catch him out. Just out of being
I know. I'm not trying to catch him out, but if he's going to throw around legislation, don't go do your work. I'm sorry, but you've been very polite, and I'm not trying to be rude
At the
to you.
moment, I can't do that because you're here.
Well, you
That's the
can.
issue. No, I can't. I can't leave you wandering around this area.
So out of the 6 other people that I walked past, one other person that asked me if I'm okay, and I said, yeah, I'm fine. You seem to be the only person here that has an issue with it.
Well, everybody else has got an issue with it. The only person that's told you that is me.
Well, nobody else has. I mean, everybody else has smiled, nodded. One person asked if I'm all right.
This should be a secure area. You shouldn't just be able to walk in here, and that's an issue that our bosses have needed to sort out for years and years and years.
Right.
For reasons that I don't fully understand, they haven't. Okay, but what I can't allow you to do is to be wandering around in here, looking through the windows, filming what's on the computers, filming our patrol cars, filming what people are doing.
So if something's publicly accessible, until you've asked me to leave,
it's
well, no, let me finish. Until you asked me to leave,
And I have done.
okay, yeah, and let me finish. Okay, until you asked me to leave, I was not trespassing.
Did I say that you were?
No, exactly. So therefore, if there's no sign saying no unauthorized access, it's fully open. That means the public have right of access.
I'm not going to discuss
Okay,
that with
so
you.
no,
All I
let
need
me
you to do is
finish what I'm
I've asked you
saying.
to do.
Let me finish what I'm saying. So if I go then film inside a window and film something that's on a computer, and I haven't been asked to leave, and I'm not trespassing, the onus is on you to keep that information safe, not on the public not to see
The
it.
point is irrelevant, isn't it? I've asked you to leave
Okay,
twice now.
right,
Okay, so that's what I need you to do. Because I've explained to you, I can't do the work that I'm doing
right,
because you're here.
okay. Well, you can.
No, I can't.
You can.
I can't leave you here unsupervised.
Well, that sounds like a you problem.
No, it's a you problem.
How's it a me problem?
Because you're disrupting me and doing what I need to do.
I'm not though, am I?
You are.
Did I come and approach
Your
you?
simple presence is enough.
So it's not your job to deal with people trespassing on your site, is what you're saying?
Well, it's everybody's job.
Well, there you go. So I'm not
well,
disrupting
that's-
you from doing your job,
well,
am I?
that's
Because
exactly what
this
I've
is
done.
part of your
I've
job
asked you
then,
to
isn't
leave.
it? So I'm not disrupting you from doing your
You are.
work. This is part of your work.
You are, because I'm here dealing with you. At the moment, I'm dealing with somebody who's been chained in the police station, who's going to be there longer because I'm dealing with you.
Well, go deal with it. There's somebody
I
else
can't
here,
because
isn't
I'm
there?
you.
If you look,
That's the point.
everybody that's allowed to be around here will have some form of this. Some people get visitors, tags as
Fair
well.
enough. And who are
know,
you? Sorry,
so
are
that's-
you a constable, are you?
No, I'm not.
No, you're not. Okay,
was
no
many
worries.
moons.
Oh, were
At
you?
this age, are you having a
Oh, I
laugh?
don't know. I've seen
But
constables.
yeah.
all sorts.
So everybody you'll see, like the gentleman just walked past here, visitors. So just shows that you need to have permission to be round here.
That
honey.
really needs to be better
Then-
signposted, then doesn't it?
We'll
Or
take that on
fenced
board,
off, or something like that.
what
See,
this officer
see,
has
this is
said
how
is
it's done.
right.
This lady's being very civil, very more courteous, much more polite in her explanation, rather than just being blunt.
I
Because that's
think
what you are. You're a
also
blunt
the officer
instrument.
was
Politely to leave,
nice. He
mate.
was nice right at the
But
beginning. But
you weren't. You just came out
know.
straight with a
But
directive.
if you want to go to the main bit, as you said, that bit when you go out, that bit is all public because you get people that go through and there's a footpath that goes down that way. That bit's absolutely fine. So if you want to stand there and take whatever pictures you want, more than welcome.
If I carry on down that end of the site, there's nothing the other side of the site. There's no exit or entrance down that
Yeah,
end
you
of the
need
site.
to go that way and you need to go right.
Is
to go
there an
back
entrance
out.
or exit down that end
There
of the
is
site?
nothing there, honey.
There's no entrance or exit down there.
nothing,
No. Okay.
No,
Interesting.
so we just need to make sure that you go and you go onto that bit, and then you can stay there for as long as you want.
Okay.
All
Well,
right then.
I mean,
Do you want to come back with me?
I might head that way in a minute. Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
it's now really.
yeah.
You know, it's got to be now.
Well,
So
why?
I'm quite willing to walk back. I'm quite willing to walk back with you.
Why is it so desperately now? So see, if she's got the time to walk back with me, she's got the time to supervise me walking
Because I'm
around.
trying to get you back,
Yeah.
and nicely to get you back off of this bit, all this area here. That's all.
I understand
I'm
that.
trying to.
I understand.
I'm trying for us to come to a decision
actually, to be
before
fair, you're doing
anything
really
else
well.
goes. You know.
To be honest, you're really good at negotiation
This
and stuff
officer
like
is
that.
good as
I mean,
well.
he's not. He's just throwing
No.
out blunt directives like a blunt instrument that he
No,
is.
he was quite. He was nice to you to
I asked
start
you
with. I
what
did
you
ask
asked you
you.
politely to leave, buddy. Okay, I'm a busy man. I've got lots of things to do.
Oh, crack
And me
on.
politely asking you to leave the secure area of the police station, I don't think is a massive ask.
Well, you can politely ask, and I can politely decline.
Just to reiterate, point, earlier on you said there's no sign saying don't come in or anything. What way did you walk in?
Just through that way down there.
Round that bend there?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's 2 signs that say private road.
Yes, yeah, there are.
I know they're not legally registered, it says private road.
Yeah, of course.
So it's a private place.
Right.
Yeah. There's also another sign that says all visitors must report to reception. Again, it's not necessarily like a legal requirement.
Yeah, I'm
However,
not.
If you want these guys to stick to the rules,
Sure.
that are clearly there for reasons, then maybe you should.
They would want to.
So go and report to reception, get a pass from them, visitor's pass. Happy days.
But then see,
why not follow that simple
because
rule?
the visitors must report to reception will be like, if I'm visiting, say I was coming to have an appointment with this constable.
No, that's not what it says. It says all visitors. You're a visitor, aren't you? You haven't been invited here. You're a visitor. You're visiting the site.
Yeah.
For whatever reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go to reception. Tell them what you're here for. And then if they give you full access, then happy days.
If they do, they'll give you a visitor's
Yeah. And then that way we come up and
the thing is, to do that, I'd have to surrender my name and details and everything to be able to get a game now. You would. They're not just going to give a visitor's pass to somebody who's not willing to.
Probably not, because generally in life you have to give something to get something. Yeah.
Somewhere.
And at the moment, all you're giving is not a lot, and you're getting a reaction, which is ultimately what you guys want.
Not really. I'd like to. I mean, actually, no, you're right.
Without being rude
No,
about
you're
it.
right. You're right. I do want a reaction,
you do,
but what I
I know,
want is a
I know.
polite and friendly interaction. The
course
way
you
that we
do.
were talking, you know,
Yeah, I
because
know.
the way you approached me was
But
very
the polite
friendly.
and
The way you
friendly
approached me was
reaction
very friendly.
Doesn't go where it
No,
isn't.
exactly, and that's what you're going to get from me.
I know what
When
this
somebody
is.
comes out with "What's your name?" leave the site, and like without, you know,
almost
and
didn't
the way
expect
you
that,
said
wouldn't
it was
The
very
first thing was, so I knew what to call you, sir.
well.
I asked you for your first. I didn't ask you your full name,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I knew that would be an issue for you.
Yeah.
Because it's not my first rodeo. Okay. So I could politely refer to you by your name. I asked you what your name was.
Refer to me as sir, as you should, but
As I've
that's fine.
explained to you, I'm a busy man. I've got lots to do. Can't be stood here.
And we
doing
have
this.
as well.
You know, these guys have got driving courses.
We can't
that
just
they're
leave
doing.
you walking around.
As you can appreciate, we can't just leave people walking around
It's
the
funny
police
that
station.
it's funny that 6 other people did before you guys came,
that's-
though, isn't it?
that's down
You
to them,
know,
isn't it?
exactly. You know,
Maybe they should have challenged you.
I
Asked what
just-
you're doing here and guided you to reception to
I mean-
report as a visitor.
and they could have said, "Hi,
is
what are you
what
up
they
to?"
do.
And I said, "I'm just here making a video, getting some shots of your vehicles, your marked vehicles and stuff." Like, you
Go
know,
and do that out on the road then.
but then I can't get up close. I can't get the shots that I want because they're
What it is
constantly
is
moving.
You can't get the reaction.
No, I can't get the shots that I want from the main road. I mean, like I said, I'm just going to get.
Really?
I'm just going to get the drone over instead. You know. And,
Oh yeah,
that's
and fine.
Yeah.
Because you're not here, are you? There's nothing stopping as long as there's no flight restriction and you've got the right size drone and all that malarkey.
Yeah.
Fine. But then that doesn't tie up these guys who have got to serve the public and help people out, and us that are trying to run courses, does it? Because ultimately we're responsible. Suffolk Constabulary is responsible for your welfare while you're on the site, aren't they? If you get knocked over, yes, you're wearing a high-vis motorcycle jacket, but if you get knocked over by a police car that's going out to an emergency job, who do you think is going to get criticised for having not challenged you because you shouldn't be here under these nefarious laws that people say exist and don't exist?
Well,
civilly trespassing and all that malarkey.
that's the thing, isn't it? I think even on a private road, a person walking is responsible for their own safety,
Alright,
and
so
a person
somebody's
driving a
private back
car.
garden, do you just have the right to go into it?
No, because that's a dwelling. There's a different level of expectation of privacy in a dwelling, isn't there?
But it's
And
still,
there
it's still
is.
that word private, isn't it?
Yeah, sure.
And there's a
But,
reason why reason why
but
people keep
it's
things
private, but it's open to the public, isn't it? Because it's a public facility. You provide public services under a
front reception
as a
grant you,
government.
because the sign instructs you to go to the front reception. So follow that procedure, then the rest of this becomes available potentially. If you don't follow that procedure, you're going to get this reaction.
But there's no signage saying that
There
you
is.
can't. No, there's no signage saying
We're not
no
really
unauthorised
getting
access
very
beyond this point. No, it happens a lot. It ends up a circular
But
conversation.
there is a
You know,
sign
but
saying all visitors must report to reception. So which one should you follow? If you want there to be a sign saying don't do it, and you follow that, follow the sign that says do it. Does that make sense?
Not really.
Common sense?
No, I disagree
Because
with
it doesn't
that.
fit with your narrative.
Should we go and have a walk?
Pardon?
Should we go and have a walk?
I want to wait for this constable
Yeah,
actually.
exactly. You just
I
Why do you want to
I don't. My brother's got a drone, and he's tempted to do this kind of thing. I'm just like, it's just
highly recommend it. to be honest.
It's about, you know it's
Yeah.
going to get the
I know, I'll tell you
reaction
what,
because that's
actually.
you're here
I'll tell you
for.
what, I went up to Bedford headquarters yesterday, actually. Where was it, yesterday? No, day before. And had like an hour and a half really nice chat with a sergeant and two constables who had absolutely no issue. And I get that you guys have got things to do, and that's fine. If you haven't got the time to, you know, at one point they just say, look, we're going to have to crack on, but we can see that you're no threat, so crack on. You know where you can and can't go. Anywhere that's gated, anywhere that's locked, don't try and get through it. Fine.
Already where you've been asked not to be.
Yeah, but again, it's nowhere that's locked, it's nowhere that's gated or fenced off.
To be asked to leave, is that not the same?
But again,
If we're talking trespassing,
yeah.
Because even if you go and climb over the fence, is that necessarily a?
If it was entirely fenced off, that would actually be illegal under the Vagrancy Act. But because this isn't an enclosed site, that doesn't apply.
Right.
So there are differences actually. Yeah. So this just becomes an issue of civil trespass right now because I have been asked to leave, and that's all it is.
So
and it's a
they're
civil,
polite about
but
it,
it's a
about
civil issue, isn't it? It's,
So does that mean you shouldn't abide by it?
I mean, it comes down to the individual, and you know, like I said, I don't plan on spending all day here. I just want to finish getting the shots of the vehicles, and I got some really interesting footage of that smashed up vehicle, the different coloured units that you got. You told me a bit of information about that
Ultimately,
one.
you're not seeing a lot in theory. If it's just about vehicles, you're going to see them on a public road, aren't you?
Yeah, but then I can't like crouch down, get the angles that I want to get the pictures that I want, because I do like doing the photography side of it as well.
So then people need to be aware that you're here. So that the organisation needs to know you're here, don't they?
No, not
For
really.
your safety, health and safety, isn't it? They need to know who's on site,
Right. But then,
and so that people can be aware, so that you can be supervised, because you might stumble into something that you shouldn't be seeing and doing.
well, again, and now that comes down to my argument of it needs to be more secured. Then, in my
when
opinion.
you've been asked to leave, you leave.
But then, all right. So
what's the difference between having
okay.
a gate in your way or somebody saying you're not allowed in?
Okay.
There's no difference.
So because I've been asked to leave, right? I could have already seen things that I'm not supposed to
Yes,
see,
you could, yeah.
and I could have that on camera. I could do whatever I wanted with that.
Yep. Fine.
So it's potentially already too late.
However, now's your time to leave.
Yeah.
Or stand at the main gate where the public have got access to on the public footpath. Because this isn't a public area, is it? Just because there's no gate or fence, it's not a public area.
I would say it is.
There's a public footpath that comes through it.
Well, I would say that it's all openly accessible.
Where's the public footpath? That's not what I asked you.
So how do people get to their vehicles if people aren't allowed to walk down here?
Because we're entitled to be here because we work here.
Okay.
So we have that implied.
But there's
permission
nothing
to be
stopping
here.
a member. There's nothing stopping a member of public coming and parking in your car park. There's no barriers to stop it. The only barrier that is there is wide open. So I could have brought my bike up here and
sign
parked
that
it here.
tells you must report to reception when you do arrive, so they know you're here and they know your vehicle is here. So let's if we're going to have to follow one rule, as in there's a gate or there's a sign saying you're not allowed, let's follow the one that says please report to or must report to reception when you get here. What have you got to hide? You've got nothing to hide.
No, but like I said, they're not going to give me a visitor's pass because I won't give them my names. You know,
Which means they're not going to grant you permission to be on the site, which is what's happened now.
But then, okay, so
Does that make it right?
I think sometimes we all go into somewhere, we don't realise, and then someone says, I'm sorry. I did that recently.
yeah,
Drove
possibly,
somewhere
yeah,
and said, I'm
yeah.
sorry, it's a private road. And I
You
went,
shouldn't be down
I'm
here.
so sorry, I didn't realise. And
Yeah.
I went.
Yeah.
So sometimes we do go on to things we don't realise, but once it's been brought to your attention,
you can leave if you want to, and then if not, it's civil trespass, isn't it? And then there's
but do you really want the I wouldn't want the aggravation, you know?
Yeah, no, this is the other than
I mean,
getting this
to be fair,
conversation.
the reason that I'm waiting is because at the moment we know that this is a civil.
Is because you want to see
Because I want to see if he tries to find any powers that he can abuse for a civil trespass issue.
I just want to get on with what I need to do, Bad.
Well, crack on then.
Realistically, yeah, but what I've explained to you is that I cannot leave you here. Okay, you're a security risk to everybody on this site, all the vehicles that are present here, you're causing us all sorts of problems.
How am I
All need
security
to do is
risk?
go.
Security risk in what way?
Because, as I've explained to you, our armed response unit is based here.
Right.
Vehicles that we don't want members of the public to know what they are, because that could compromise future operations and what we do.
Well, like unmarked vehicles and stuff.
Exactly that.
I think unmarked vehicles are wrong. If I ever see constables in uniform in a marked vehicle, I always dock the registration.
Debate that point,
To be
but
honest,
that's the issue.
I do, because I think they're completely wrong. But
I take the point that
There
you
we
can walk around here, and I agree, that is ridiculous, and always has been, and I don't know why our bosses haven't sorted that out.
Yeah.
But what I need you to do is just go back onto the public part of the site, and then we can carry on with what we're doing. You can stay there as long as you want, and everybody wins.
Fly your drone over here, happy days.
That's all I'm asking you to do.
I think it's fair.
Can't get
enough,
politer than
though,
that, can
isn't
you?
it, you know?
I mean, Maybe.
What exactly are you after? I know you say, but
Pardon?
what are you exactly after here? Are you after